What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? We got a lot to talk about tonight, a lot of playoff baseball to talk about. We're going to talk about the Mets possibly going after Theo Epstein or Billy Beane in the offseason. I'm going to dive into the St. Louis Cardinals tonight on how they have turned around their season. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? How are we doing? Hello. Only around 20 people to start things off. Let's hope a few more people trickle on in. But hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a good start to their week. Happy Monday, everyone. We got some more baseball to talk about tonight. We had the power rankings last night. If you did miss that, go check it out. Go see who I had atop my power rankings. So every Sunday night, or at least I try to every Sunday night, do my power rankings. So, but tonight we're going to go over just some news and notes. We're going to kind of look at the week ahead. We're going to look at the playoff races, kind of just dive into what to expect this coming week. I'm also going to talk about the St. Louis Cardinals. Kind of looked into the stats today, took a look at how exactly they have turned around their season. So I'm going to break down the numbers for you guys, just to give you an idea of what exactly they have done. Well, I mean, quite frankly, they've just played better, but I'm going to show you what exactly they've done, what they have done better. So we'll take a look at that, and we're going to talk about the New York Mets. The New York Mets, they're in the news, not for the playoffs. I'm sure a lot of Mets fans, or all Mets fans, are not very happy about that, but there is hope because the Mets are possibly looking to add some star power to that front office this offseason. So we'll go take a look at that as well. But before I do get started, if you can, if anyone is new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 14,000 subscribers. My goal is 15,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. It's going to be tough to get there, but let's see if we can do it. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button. It's really going to help this get out there tonight. Monday night, probably going to be a little slow on the news front. I'm not expecting a ton of people in here tonight. Maybe we can get to 50, maybe 75. That'd be amazing. Everyone hit that bell button so you get notified of all the streams, all of the uploads that I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks heading into the playoffs. And hey, share the stream if you can as well. There's also something new that I want to share with you as well. I did share this the other day on the community tab, and I shared it with you last night as well. But you can now become a member of the channel. If you go to my main screen of the channel, there is now a join button there. And if you do become a member for just 99 cents per month, you can have a badge next to your name. As you can see, Jared Cole, one of the newest members of the channel, is in the chat right now. Your name will become green, and you will have a little badge next to your name, and you can use some custom emojis. I will actually, now that we have over 10 members, I will be able to add some more emojis. So expect, I think, around maybe 3 or 4 more emojis that you'll be able to use. Oh, we got a member. Cash Nelson coming in the clutch. He is our newest member. Thank you very much, Cash Nelson. Really appreciate that, my friend, just becoming the newest member. I believe you are lucky number 13. We got to 12 last night. So Cash Nelson, you are the 13th member. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for the support. It really goes a long way. Trying to make this a full-time thing if possible. And hey, every little bit helps. So everyone, let's just get right to it. So I want to kick things off by talking about the AL wild cards. So as of right now, the Red Sox, Blue Jays have the first two wild cards. The Yankees got pummeled by the Indians over the weekend. I mean, goodness gracious. Look at Garrett Cole. Look how upset that man looks. He did not have a very good outing yesterday. But the Yankees, they're not, completely out of this thing. A game and a half out. If we go take a look at the current scores as of right now, the Yankees holding on to a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the seventh. They got a runner on. So the Yankees, they got some work to do if they want to get back into this thing. I still think they got a very good chance of being able to lock down a wild card. This isn't over until it's over. If we go take a look at the Yankees as of right now. So let me actually go pull up the Yankees schedule. So as of right now, while that's loading, let me go over here to Fangraphs. So as of right now, Fangraphs, let's go pull up the wild card standings. So taking a look here, right now, according to Fangraphs, they only have a 29.2% chance of winning a wild card. As of right now, the Red Sox have the highest percent chance on Fangraphs to lock down a wild card. The Blue Jays have the second highest, the Yankees with the third highest. A's coming in with an 8% chance. The A's are not out of this either, but if I were to pick two teams, I think it's going to come out of these three teams from the East, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Yankees. So the Yankees, they've been an up and down team this year. When they're hot, they're super hot. But when they're cold, they're super cold. It's a very hot, very cold team with this Yankees team. There's a ton of talent, so it's no surprise when they're winning, they win a lot. Like they won 13 games in a row at one point. They got a ton of talent, especially right after the trade deadline. I mean, they were just pounding the ball. But let's go take a look here at the Yankees. Since the beginning of September, the Yankees offense has been stagnant a little bit. They ranked 19th overall, only hitting .228 as a team, under a 300 on base, a .422 slugging, not really getting it done this month with the offense. I mean, they've had their moments, but overall, just not a very good month for the Yankees offensively. If we take a look at the starting pitching, the Yankees this month, it's been okay. 3-5 from their starters this month. Again, the offense, I mean, you could see it didn't rank very well, but overall, a 4.22 ERA. The FIP isn't any better at a 4.59. The xFIP does look pretty good. They are striking out a lot of batters, so that is a good sign. Over 11.5 strikeouts per nine. The walks, I think, need to come down a little bit. Almost 4 walks per nine. Almost around 2 home runs per nine. If we actually go take a look here at the home runs per nine, as of right now, in the month of September, they've given up the 8th highest amount of home runs per 9 innings, so that needs to come down. When you take a look at the teams that are have more home runs given up, you're looking at some bad teams like the Orioles, the Cubs, the Padres have been really bad, the Twins, the Rangers, the Rockies, the Royals. These are all bottom tier teams, and the fact that the Yankees, even the Diamondbacks are doing slightly better this month at giving up less home runs than the Yankees. So the Yankees, they're not in good territory right now. They're giving up a lot of home runs with their starting pitching. The bullpen, that is one thing with the Yankees they have been able to count on this year, but look at the bullpen. They've been struggling. 4-6 on the month, a 5.27 ERA, a 5.11 FIP. Sure, the xFIP of 4.35 is okay, but that's around league average. The Yankees bullpen, sure, they're getting a ton of strikeouts, over 10 strikeouts per 9, but over 4 walks per 9. That's not good for a bullpen. Not good for a bullpen. And once again, the home run ball, it's not just affecting the starting pitching, it's affecting the bullpen as well. That needs to come down. The Yankees, if they want any shot at getting into this thing, Like I said, they're 1.5 out. They still got a chance here, but they're going to need to cut down the home runs. They're going to need to start pitching a little better, and they're going to need to start hitting better. I know it's easier said than done, but they got the Rangers. They got them tonight. It's a close game. Going to have to wait and see. Actually, how are the Yankees doing in one-run games? The Yankees this year, 26-18 in one-run games, so that's a good sign. They tend to be on the good side of these one-run games, so let's see how it goes. I mean, it's the Texas Rangers. I mean, they're not a great team this year. The Yankees should be able to get this done. Let me actually pull up here the box score. Let's kind of see what's going on as of right now. Actually, let me pull that up in another tab. But yeah, Garrett Cole, I mean, that was a pretty bad start for him yesterday, so he's definitely going to have to pitch better as well in his next time out. So, but as of right now, Yankees got 2 on with 2 outs. But taking a look at tonight, Cortez, made it into the 5th inning, got 7 strikeouts there. Chad Green and Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes has been a very, very, very bright spot on this Yankees team. He has been a great addition, one of the low-key, really good additions at the trade deadline this year. I remember everyone, when that trade happened, everyone was saying, who the heck is Clay Holmes? But he has been probably one of their most effective relievers, if not their most effective reliever since the trade deadline. He has been awesome. But the Yankees, overall, they need to just, as simple as it is, they just need to play better on all sides of the ball. They need to pitch better. They need to give up less home runs. They need to walk less guys. They need to hit better. So again, it's this consistency with the Yankees that really, really bites them. But if they can get hot at the right time, I'm telling you right now, I think in my heart of hearts, I think the Yankees, when they're hot, I think they're the best team in baseball. I mean, at least one of the best teams in baseball. They are extremely dangerous when they're hot. When they're clicking on all cylinders, when they're hitting, when they're pitching, you don't want to go up against this Yankee team. They're just ferocious. But when they go cold, it's a completely different team. It's so wackadoodle. I don't understand this Yankee team. But if they can get hot and if they can get a wild card, look out for this New York Yankees team. So, but as of right now, taking a look at the rest of Major League Baseball, I believe both the Red Sox, the Red Sox are off tonight, but the Blue Jays are playing right now against the Rays. Shane Baz is pitching tonight, making his Major League debut. So taking a look here, how did he do tonight? What a great debut. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, gave up a couple of home runs there. But hey, you couldn't ask for a better debut for a rookie pitcher, man. I mean, against this lineup too, this Blue Jays lineup has been the best in baseball in the month of September. I mean, what a debut. So you got to love what he's brought to the table here. The Rays, I feel like, needed a starting pitcher. Could Shane Baz be that guy? Could he be that guy for the Tampa Bay Rays to just come out of nowhere and really help them out in the playoffs? I really think they needed another arm. It felt like they've been able to get by without Tyler Glasnow. They've played extremely well. But when it comes to the nit and gritty, when you're getting into playoff time, when you're getting into that playoff fever, you need more arms. And when you're going up against the better teams, that starting pitching, to me, for the Tampa Bay Rays, it looked a little flat. I mean, not that I'm not saying they're not good, but, getting through the regular season is way different than getting through the playoffs. And, I mean, when you're lacking that starting pitching, that bullpen is going to get taxed more. And, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the playoffs at that point. If Shane Baz can come in here and he can give you starts like this, I think he could be a big contributor to the playoffs. I'm not sure if they have an innings limit for him. I'm not really sure where that stands. But who knows? Maybe he could be a big contributor for the Tampa Bay Rays in the playoffs, kind of like a David Price from 2008. I've said that a few times. That's the comparison that I think of. But David Price, we all saw back in 2008, he came on to the scene in a huge way. Closing out the Red Sox in that ALCS that year, that still burns in my brain. I still cannot believe that. But that's where we stand as of right now with the American League wild card. It's going to be a dogfight all the way until the end. I believe the Yankees have They have the toughest schedule for the rest of the way, a 527 strength of schedule. When you look at the Blue Jays, they have a slightly easier one, and the Red Sox have the easiest one of them of all. So the Yankees, they're going to need to find a way to get this done. Let me actually pull up their schedule for the rest of the way. So again, they're going against the Texas Rangers. And then later this week, they're going to be going up against the Blue Jays, and they will be going up against the Red Sox this weekend. It's a big week for the Yankees. Or no, I apologize. I take that back. They're going against the Red Sox this weekend, and then the Blue Jays next week. So big week or big couple of weeks here for the Yankees. This is their season on the line. But I will say, I mentioned this in last night's stream, the Yankees have not had a day off since September 2nd. That's brutal. That's 20 games of baseball in a row, no days off. I mean, I know the old saying, no rest for the weary, or is that how you say it? I don't know, but whatever. But the Yankees, they haven't had rest, so give them that day off right there, and who knows? Who knows if they can win this series, even sweep? Oh, I think we got a super chat coming in. Combat Jones. Heavy losses in the market today. Here's the rest. Combat Jones, thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate that. $2 for Combat Jones. Thank you so much. But, hey, if the Yankees can sweep this series against the Rangers, they got a nice day off. I mean, to be honest, a well-deserved day off. That's a lot of baseball. So, and then you go up against the Red Sox in a crucial series. I mean, if you want playoff baseball at its finest, I mean, at the end of the day, this could be a preview of the wild card. We're going to have to wait and see how things shape up, but it's anyone's game at this point. This is not over till it's over. So, but that's where I'm at right now with the wild card. Again, the Blue Jays, taking just a quick look at the Blue Jays, are down by 3 here. I would imagine Tampa Bay is going to hang on with that bullpen. But for the Blue Jays, hey, they need to be winning here too. They can't be losing games. If they lose tonight and the Yankees win, they're only a half game out. So I know it might not look great for the Yankees right now, but 1 or 2 games can completely change things. That's baseball for you. So a lot on the line tonight and this week. So let's move over here. So we're talking about all these East teams. But you know what? In the National League East, we got a pretty tight race as well. Taking a look here at the Atlanta Braves and the Phillies. The Phillies really closed the gap there, but a tough loss to the Mets last night, and the Braves, with a clutch win over the Giants yesterday, pushed their lead to 2 games. I mean, this is very tight. We're going to have to wait and see how this turns out, but there is a lot of excitement here in this National League East. So let's go take a look here. Also, I think I forgot to turn on the music. Here we go. So let's move back over here. Where are the standings? Okay. So moving on here to the National League East. Atlanta, like I said, with a 2-game lead. Atlanta had been kind of slumping a little bit lately, and Philly was on fire at one point. They won 4 straight this past week before losing last night. So, again, this division, this is definitely going to go to the end, I think. If you take a look here at the projected standings, let's go back to the division standings. So, as of right now, Fangraphs has the Braves at a 73% chance of winning that division. They're still giving the Phillies around a quarter, about 25% chance to win this division. So, it's not over. The one thing that the Phillies have the advantage over, the Braves, they have a much easier schedule the rest of the way. Let's actually go pull up that schedule here for the Phillies. So the Phillies, actually a tough loss tonight to the Orioles. Oh my goodness, I just seeing this now. Are you kidding me? Come on, Philly. What are you doing? What is going on? Losing to the... Oh, my God, the Orioles. They just got swept. God, the Phillies, man. I mean, if you look at this week, I talked about this on the power rankings last night. If you look at this week, I mean, you got the Orioles and the Pirates. I mean, these are definitely going to be spoiler kind of teams, but they're looking to do some damage to some of these teams that are trying to make their way into the playoffs, like the Phillies. But I mean, just not off to a good start this week for the Phillies. I mean, come on. You won 4 straight games. You lose a tough game to the Mets last night. And you come out and you just, I mean, Ranger Suarez pitched well, but there's no offense. I don't know. This Phillies team, it's just another one of these up and down teams. I'm so tired of these up and down teams. But for the Phillies, on paper, you have an easy week. And then you got the Braves next week. And then to end the season, you have the Marlins. So if we take a look at the Braves, no, let me go here to the Atlanta. What the heck just happened? What did I just do? Oh, my computer is killing me right now. The Atlanta Braves. So let's check out their schedule. So they're playing the Diamondbacks tonight. So they got a winnable series here. I mean, if the Braves just saw that the Phillies lost to the Orioles, I mean, they got to take advantage of this game tonight. You got 4 against the Diamondbacks here, and then you got 4 against a slumping Padres team. I mean, who knows how the Padres will look at this point next week. I mean, Padres could still maybe turn it around this week. I don't know. It's looking less and less likely, but either way, Padres got a lot of talent on that team. That's not going to be an easy team to go against. So for the Braves, you have to give the edge to the Phillies right now in the schedule, but that doesn't mean anything. You got to go out there and you got to win games. This is going to be in the end, I think this is going to be a big series. I think this is going to decide the East. I would imagine these two teams are going to be really close, at least 2 games, at least a 2-game difference by this point, and that's going to decide the season. So that's a big series next week. So that's where we are at with the National League East. So again, the Phillies losing to the Orioles tonight. If we take a look at the updated standings, let me refresh this. So let's see if they have updated this. So now, whoops, that's the wrong one. That's the wild card. So it should be 2.5 games back now for the Phillies. Yep, 2.5 back. So depending on what Atlanta could do tonight, it could stay at 2 or it could go back to 3, and that's going to be really tough there for the Phillies, man. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about this Phillies team. But let's move over to the West in the National League. So, hey, we got another tight division out here in the National League West. We got the Giants, who have been a surprise team this year, have been tremendous this year. They are 3 wins away from 100 wins when Pacoda didn't even have them making the playoffs. And the Dodgers, they just continue to hang tough. They have played extremely well in the second half. But as of right now, the Giants only lead the NL West by 1 game. It's tight. It is tight, and there's a lot of baseball left between these two. So let's go take a look at what we got left. So sharing the screen. So in the West, as of right now, it is tooth and nail for this division on Fangraphs when it comes to the projected finish. They're projecting the Giants as of right now. So this is where I'm not fully understanding, because the projected wins, they have the Giants by 0.1 ahead of the Dodgers and a 0.1 difference with the loss. So I'm not sure how the Dodgers still have this higher percent chance. I'm kind of confused about that. But this is, I mean, what a crazy race this has been. It looked like the Giants were maybe going to secure it, maybe going to lock it down, but the Dodgers have just played so good. 8-2 in their last 10. They're just playing extremely good baseball. Can the Giants hang on? So let's go take a look at their strength of schedules the rest of the way. I mean, it's pretty dead even. I mean, they both have a pretty similar schedule. You know, a 494 strength of schedule for the Giants and a 498 for the Dodgers. So this is as close as it gets. So let's look at the Dodgers schedule. So they're not playing until tomorrow, so they got an off day today. Kershaw pitched well yesterday, 8 strikeouts through 5 innings. But I mean, look here for the Dodgers. You got the Rockies on the road. You got a long road trip here. You're going to be on the road all week. You got the Rockies, and then you got the Diamondbacks. So the Rockies, they have been a better team than people think this year. They're not a good team, but they're not a terrible team by any means. And it's never easy to go to Coors Field. So could be an interesting series there for the Dodgers. I could see the Rockies maybe taking 2 out of 3 here. It's very possible. But then, you got the Diamondbacks. Could the Diamondbacks want to play spoiler a little bit? Have to wait and see. You know, these Rockies and these Diamondbacks, they're going to play tough against these Dodgers. So they're going to bring their A game, or at least as close to an A game as they can. But then you got the Padres next weekend. And then for I believe the Giants and the Giants and Dodgers are done with each other now. No more games between them. So, and then the Dodgers got the Brewers. So, you know, someone actually in the comments yesterday for the power rankings put out an interesting point. Maybe the Brewers, because I said this yesterday on the power rankings, where maybe the Brewers are going to rest guys in this last series, you know, because, hey, they've already won the division. It's already locked in. You know, they already have the second best, they're pretty much their spot is secure in the seeding. So for the Brewers, you might think, well, okay, they're probably going to rest some guys here for this last series. But someone in the comments, I forget who, and I apologize, I can't remember who said it, but, you know, maybe the Brewers actually play the Dodgers pretty hard in this series because, hey, if you're thinking about it, you know, maybe the Brewers, they want to try and avoid I forget what the guy said completely, but let me go take a look. How would the playoffs shape up right now? So let's say the Dodgers won the wild card, and then I don't see what that would mean. I don't know. I can't fully remember what the guy said, but either way, he said the Brewers are going to maybe play the Dodgers pretty hard. I forget. It was something to do with the playoff seeding. Can't fully remember, but either way, maybe the Brewers end up wanting to put some guys out there. Maybe, you know, keep them hot. You know, some teams, when they start resting some guys, maybe they go a little cold, but have to wait and see what the Brewers end up doing in this series. But when you look at the Giants, taking a look at the Giants. So, computer's being a little slow right now. But they got the Padres this week, and they got the Rockies as well, and they got the Diamondbacks. But their last series, they got the Padres there. Could the Padres, if they're out of it by this point, I mean, what a spoiler team that could be. I mean, I would imagine, God, you got to think the morale right now of the San Diego Padres, it's not looking too good. You got Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. just screaming at each other in the dugout. It's probably not a very good feeling right now in San Diego. But, I don't know, will they even care at this point about playing spoiler? I mean, I don't know. How checked out are the San Diego Padres right now? They still got a week here where they could maybe turn it around. But this is going to be a dogfight until the end. Absolute dogfight. I mean, this is as close as it gets. You know, considering they, for Fangraphs, they had the Dodgers at around like a 75% chance to win this division just like a couple of weeks ago. But now it's pretty much 50-50. It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see how it goes. Now, all right, I want to dive into a team that has really come on strong here in the second half. And let me actually pull up one thing here. But this team, the St. Louis Cardinals, man, they have been phenomenal. They're just so hot lately. They're just playing incredible baseball. I mean, but you might be thinking, well, what have the Cardinals been doing? How have they been able to turn this around? Well, I mean, in all parts of the game, you know, the hitting, the starting pitching, the bullpen, they've just been better. But I'm going to look into the stats. I'm going to show you exactly where they've kind of been a little better. They've made a few adjustments along the way, and you'll see here as let me pull this up really quick. But as of right now, the St. Louis Cardinals, they are 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 8 straight games. I mean, good grief. They have just climbed all the way back here. If you take a look at the wild card standings, they are firmly ahead of the Cincinnati Reds by 3 games. I mean, I would imagine with the way the Cardinals have been playing, it is just, I don't know. I don't see them losing this now. Unless one of these teams just get red hot and the Cardinals just go cold. I just don't see it, man. I really just don't see it. But for the Cardinals, this month, just playing some great baseball. If we look at the month of September, 12-6 so far. They started playing better in August. They were pretty good there in the beginning, 14-12, and then 16-12. But then they were slumping in June and July. August, they came alive a little bit. And then September, they've been playing great baseball. So, let's take a look here. Let's take a look in the first half of the season. So, let me actually pull up How were they? Actually, how do I pull up the standings? 2021 MLB standings. What was the date? I'll go to August. I'll go to July 31st. So they made a couple of moves at the deadline. So let's take a look at where they were at July 31st. So they were 52-52. They were a 500 team, pretty disappointing. Only scored 415 runs, gave up 456. Just not a great team overall. Kind of just a sluggish team. They got a couple of good streaks in there, but then they had a couple of losing streaks in there. Just a very up and down team. But since then, they have just been going off. Again, 12-6 this month. They're 15-11 in August. So since the end of July, they are 27-17. So a huge difference. But let's go back to July 31st. Let's take a look at what these guys were doing at this point. So before the trade deadline, this team had a team average of 230. Are we here? Hello, hello, refresh. I am here. Okay, all right, we're back on. Sorry about that, everyone. Hit some lag there for a second. But let's go back here just in case it kind of goofed up on you there. So the Cardinals, before the trade deadline. So again, they had a 233 average as a team, a 304 on base, a 386 slugging, an 89 WRC plus, and a 154 ISO. These are not good numbers. This offense was really slumping. But if we take a look since the trade deadline, they have been a lot better. They've hit 260. While that's not great, it's a big improvement. The on base has been better. The slugging has been better. The WRC plus is around 20 points higher. The ISO percentage, 181. That's a lot better than what it was. So let's go take a look here at the St. Louis Cardinals offense. So I want to point out a couple of things with this offense with St. Louis. So let me pull this up really quick. Let me close out some of these tabs. Alrighty, so sharing the screen. So let me pull up here. Let me pull up those stats from April 1st to July 31st. So I want to point out a couple of things. In all honesty, the Cardinals really didn't do anything all that different. I want to point out just a couple of things. So, all right, do we got it? So April 1st to July 31st. So the Cardinals offense, they ranked, where are you, St. Louis? They ranked 22nd. Not good. A negative 50.6 offensive runs above average. So when you look at the advanced numbers, I'm going to go to StatCast. Fangraphs have StatCast now. St. Louis, they had a barrel percentage of 7.7. Now, let me compare it here. Let me pull up these numbers. Actually, that was offense, right? Yeah, okay. So, pulling up the numbers since the trade deadline. So, August 1st to today. So again, looking at the barrel percentage, St. Louis had a 7.7%. If you look at since the beginning of August, St. Louis has, come on, where is it? A 7. Zai Pang has just subscribed. Thank you so much, my friend. St. Louis, a 7.8 barrel percentage. So they're not hitting the ball any better. They're still getting the same amount of barrels. If you look at the hard hit percentage, however, it's a 35.6. Whereas if you look before the trade deadline, it's a 37.7. So they're actually hitting the ball not as hard since August 1st. So how is this all happening? What's going on here? Especially when you look at these advanced numbers, there's not really anything all that different. Even if you look at exit velocity, 88.4 after the trade deadline, and then 88.7 before the trade deadline. So really nothing all that different. So what is it? What exactly has been going right for the Cardinals? I'll just show you just something really simple. I'll just show you. Let's take a look here. Let's go before the trade deadline. Again, not a good offense, but I want to take a look at the BABIP, batting average on balls in play. St. Louis, they only had a 276 BABIP. The league average, if we go pull this up here. So let me look at the league average. So the league average BABIP is a 291. So the Cardinals, before the trade deadline, had a 276. That's not that good. So that shows you're getting a little unlucky. However, since the trade deadline, let's pull up the BABIP for here. The St. Louis Cardinals have been, where are they? They have a 307 BABIP compared to the 276. So what's going on here? They're just getting better luck. They're not hitting the ball any differently. The balls are just falling into play more. Simple as that. They're getting more extra base hits. So that is one thing. They're just placing the ball better. They're just getting these balls falling into play more. And if we go take a look here at the post-offensive stats, one more look at this, the ISO percentage is a lot higher at 181 compared to the 154 prior to the trade deadline. So that just shows me that the St. Louis Cardinals are simply getting better luck. They're just having more balls fall into play. So that's just what I'm thinking, because I've looked at everything here. I'm like, what the heck are the St. Louis Cardinals doing differently? So I don't know. There's nothing different with the barrel percentage. There's nothing really different with the exit velocities. There's nothing really different with the hard hit percentage. They're actually hitting the ball less hard since the trade deadline. So it's very interesting. But the BABIP is a lot higher. They're just having more balls fall into play. The balls are finding the hole just easier. So simple as that. But that's what's going on with the offense for the St. Louis Cardinals. But they've also just had some guys really stepping up. Paul Goldschmidt's been hitting like crazy. Tyler O'Neill has actually been just nuts. If we go take a look, Tyler O'Neill, before the trade deadline, in 82 games, he was hitting 264 with 17 home runs and 40 RBIs. However, if you take a look since August 1st, Tyler O'Neill in 42 games is hitting 317 with 11 home runs and 26 RBIs. Tyler O'Neill has been fantastic. Paul Goldschmidt, he's hitting 340 since August 1st. And if you take a look, he was only hitting 269. So before the trade deadline, that's crazy. Paul Goldschmidt, he's been hitting a lot better. Nolan Arenado has actually not been hitting as well. Nolan Arenado, since August 1st, is hitting 226, still has 12 home runs and 37 RBIs, but his average was a lot better at 267. So Nolan Arenado, I would say, he's been pretty steady for the most part. Batting average is a little lower since the trade deadline, but Tyler O'Neill, Paul Goldschmidt, those guys have been awesome. And but one other thing I want to point out, well, actually, I'll get to that in a second. Let me actually take a look here at the next thing. Let's talk about the starting pitching with the St. Louis Cardinals. So before the trade deadline, the St. Louis Cardinals, team ERA of 4.17, FIP of 4.52. They had 7.7 strikeouts per nine, but the walks were a little high at 3.76 per nine. They had they were giving up 38.8% of hard hit balls, and they were giving up 32.4% of fly balls. However, if you take a look since the trade deadline, remember at the trade deadline, they got John Lester and they got J.A. Happ. Okay? So they've had some guys really coming into the rotation and stepping up for them, and since then, the ERA is a 3.65. FIP is a little better at 4.40, but here's the key thing here. This is what I think has been the difference with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the difference. Let me go back before the trade deadline. Take a look at the strikeouts per nine. It was a 7.47. But take a look now. Since August 1st, 5.97. That's almost 1.5 strikeouts less per 9. So you're thinking, huh? How are they getting these better numbers? Well, now take a look at the walks per 9. Okay? Take a look at the walks per 9. Before the deadline, it was at a 3.76. Now, since then, it's at a 2.68. So what the Cardinals have been doing, they've been getting or relying more on the defense. The defense has been fantastic. If we go take a look at the defense for the St. Louis Cardinals, so let me pull it up really quick. So the St. Louis Cardinals defense is some of the best in the game. So St. Louis right now, they rank 3rd in defense on the year. They have a great defensive team. You got a really good outfield. You got Nolan Arenado at 3rd base. They're taking advantage of the defense. They basically have changed their approach, and they're thinking, all right, you know what? Forget trying to strike guys out. We got to play to our strengths. Let's play with our defense here. Let's get some more fly balls. Let's get some more ground balls. And actually, take a look one more time at the pre-starting or the pre-trade deadline starting pitching. Look at the fly ball percentage. Only a 32.4%, but then after the trade deadline, it's gone up about 3%. So they're getting a lot more fly balls. They're getting these outfielders more involved. They're getting the fielders more involved. That's simply what the Cardinals are doing here. So, and Adam Wainwright has definitely been huge for them. So, especially with Jack Flaherty going down. However, there's one more thing. Let's take a look at the bullpen. Taking a look at the bullpen. Before the trade deadline, they were walking a lot of guys. 5.2 walks per 9. But also take a look at the weighted fastball, which is the value of their fastballs. They were, it was okay. They had a run value of 6.7, so they were saving about 6 to 7 runs with their fastballs. And the curveball, negative 13.8. The St. Louis Cardinals were terrible with their curveballs. But look after the trade deadline. Since then, they are walking a lot less guys. Their fastball is at a way better value. They've been throwing just better fastballs all across the board. And their curveball, while it is still in the negatives, that's a way better value than it was before. So they're throwing better fastballs. They're throwing better curveballs. They're not walking as many guys. The St. Louis Cardinals, in my opinion, if I were to give the Cardinals a kind of like what's the word I'm looking for here? The Cardinals, if I were to say I can't think of what I'm trying to say. One word to describe the Cardinals is they're adjusting. It's simply that. They looked at what they were doing. They went to the trade deadline and said, okay, well, we need to add some depth to the starting rotation, right? So, taking a look at the Cardinals rotation, as of right now. So, you have Adam Wainwright, who's been pitching great this year. You added a John Lester and a J.A. Happ. Both of those guys have been relatively solid for the St. Louis Cardinals since coming over. Jake Woodford stepped up. Mike Mykolas has come back from injury, and he's been pitching okay, I think. I haven't looked at his numbers too much lately. But he got the win against the Padres in his last start. So he's been okay. A 4.5 ERA, a 4.6 FIP. He's been okay, but either way, what he's bringing to the table is someone that can make starts. So, they've lost Jack Flaherty. Hopefully he can come back soon. But, Carlos Martinez was completely ineffective. Dakota Hudson's been out all year. So, they've just not had a lot of luck when it comes to the health of their rotation. Not a lot of depth, but they added Lester and they added Happ. Since then, they've adjusted. They've completely adjusted. They have completely changed their game plan. They're getting the defense more involved, and it's worked. Because why not use that defense? It's phenomenal defense. So that's pretty much what the Cardinals have been doing. They're just, for the hitting, they're getting their hits just falling into play more. They're not really doing anything too different. Sure, Goldschmidt, he's been hitting a lot more, but you could say Goldschmidt simply, he was hitting the ball well prior to the deadline. But since then, a lot of his hits are just falling into play more. Tyler O'Neill, he's been huge this year for the Cardinals. So simply put, for the Cardinals, they're just getting better luck. The starting pitching, they got better depth. They've completely changed their game plan. And the bullpen, one thing to note with the St. Louis Cardinals bullpen, prior to the deadline, you had guys like Giovanni Gallegos, Genesis Cabrera, Alex Reyes, who were kind of the main guys in that bullpen. But since then, they've had guys like Luis Garcia, TJ McFarland, and Cody Whitley come in and provide meaningful innings. So they've gotten more guys to step up for them in that bullpen, give them more variety out there, and it's really worked. So the Cardinals, they're the team of adjustments, and they do this a lot. So many years. They're not very good in the first half. They're kind of just hanging around. And then the second half, they kind of look at what they got to do differently, and they go on a run. And that's exactly what they've done this year. Once again, the St. Louis Cardinals, they just do this so many times. But that's pretty much at least what I found on the St. Louis Cardinals. If you can see anything different, let me know in the comments down below. But we got one more story to talk about tonight before I get out of here. So let's go to the offseason a little bit. I did mention this a little bit last night. I didn't get into it too much because I was focusing on the power rankings. But the New York Mets, yeah, not in the playoff picture. They're pretty much done. But they're already looking ahead to the offseason. The New York Mets, this could be some huge news. The New York Mets interested in Theo Epstein and Billy Beane. Interesting. I mean, this blows my mind. I mean, I don't see why it couldn't happen. But let's go to the source. Let's pull up where this is coming from. So this was coming from John Heyman. He tweeted this yesterday. Mets are aiming very high for their open baseball president job, so their short list is very short. Billy Beane, Theo Epstein. You also got David Stearns. In my opinion, I feel like you're going to land one of these guys. Billy Beane or Theo Epstein. So that was Fan Nation. All right, so taking a look, I believe Sports Illustrated had the story. Oh, no, this is Sports Illustrated. Okay. But again, Mets aiming very high, short list. But they also had another story. Theo Epstein expected to be in play for the Mets. Now, if you were to kind of pick, let's say you could have a pick between Billy Beane and Theo Epstein. Well, Theo Epstein, he has come in to organizations before and completely turned them around and helped win a World Series. The Red Sox helped end the curse, won to set up the Red Sox to win a couple more World Series along the way. And I say a couple more because they won again in 2007. And Theo Epstein, a lot of the pieces that he put together, hey, it led to that 2013 team coming together. So I give some credit to Theo Epstein for that 2013 team a little bit. But then went to the Cubs, completely rebuilt that farm system, completely rebuilt that major league team, brought in some pieces, and put together an incredible team in 2016 to help break their drought. So Theo Epstein would be huge. But now you got to think, well, Billy Beane, could this be someone? Billy Beane is someone where, as a Red Sox fan, I think back to 2004. After 2002, the Red Sox were interested in bringing in Billy Beane. Ended up staying in Oakland. Okay, but Billy Beane, he has said it was one of the toughest decisions of his life. Will he make that same decision again? If he gets presented an opportunity to go to the Mets, we've all seen what Billy Beane can do with a small payroll. What could he do with a bigger payroll with the New York Mets? It's going to be really interesting if Billy Beane ends up going to the Mets. You also have to remember with Beane, he got drafted by the Mets when he was a player. First round pick, ended up flaming out with the Mets. So maybe there's a bit of intrigue there with a Billy Beane to go back to the Mets. Hey, you couldn't be successful there as a player, but maybe there's an intrigue of being successful as the guy that runs the ship. Maybe that could be intriguing to him. I don't know the guy, so I don't know, but maybe. There's also something too with Billy Beane. what's Oakland going to end up doing? It's looking like more and more each day they're going to end up going to Las Vegas. It's looking like it's more and more each day. Will Billy Beane go to Las Vegas with them? He has said good things about Las Vegas, where he said, hey, you know what? I think that would be a great place to go to. So Billy Beane is definitely supportive of going to Las Vegas. So it sounds like he would be in favor of going there. But if I were to pick between the two, I feel like in this situation, I feel like you got to go with a Theo Epstein. Because Theo Epstein, this is a guy, while Billy Beane has shown what he can do in a small market, Theo Epstein has shown what you can do in a big market. And the New York Mets are a big market. I feel like Theo Epstein is going to be the guy that you're going to want to lean more towards, because Theo Epstein has shown that he can get it done in Boston. He's shown that he can get it done in Chicago. And Theo Epstein has been linked to the Mets for quite a while now, ever since he left the Cubs. So there's something there. I think when there's smoke, there's fire. If I were to make a guess here, I feel like Theo Epstein is going to end up going here. I don't know. That's just my prediction. Because, hey, Theo Epstein, he's been away from the game for a little bit now. I don't know. Maybe he's getting that itch. And the Mets, they got an organization that you can work with. So Billy Beane, kind of wonder. I don't know. I just feel like Billy Beane, I think he would be great as a general or as the president of baseball operations for the Mets. But I feel like Theo Epstein is going to be a better fit, just considering he has worked in these pressure cooker, markets. Boston particularly. Chicago. I mean, hey, they wanted to end that curse. They wanted to end that drought. He came in and did it. For the Mets, they're itching to win a World Series. They haven't won since 1986. You're approaching, 30 years now? 30 years? 40 years. No, 40 years. You're approaching 40 years without a World Series. So, Theo Epstein, I feel like, is the guy. If I were to go after a guy, I'm going after the guy that helped end 2 droughts. That's just my thinking. No disrespect to Billy Beane, but I feel like Billy Beane, I think, he's got his family life over in California. It's a nice position to be in. I don't know. I think he would want to go to Las Vegas, help rebuild that Oakland team, in a new market. So have to wait and see. And in Billy Beane, hey, they're going to Las Vegas. That could end up being a better market for them. Maybe he actually gets some more payroll to work with a little bit. So have to wait and see. But if I were to make a guess here, I feel like it's going to be Theo Epstein. I don't think it's going to be Billy Beane. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I just wanted to do a quick one tonight. Wanted to talk some baseball tonight. Go over those playoff races. And, just talk about the Mets a little bit. And that's it. But everyone, that's all I have for tonight. Look out for some more streams this week. Look out for some uploads this week. But everyone, have yourself a good night. Get some rest. Have a good rest of the week. And, hey, if I go live, I'll let you guys know ahead of time. But everyone, have yourself a good night. And I'll talk to you next time.